Welcome to another episode of Stuck in My Mind podcast. I am your host, Wize, and today's guest is a powerhouse in both mindset and mastery. Constance Curtis has spent over 2 decades building companies, navigating major pivots, and intentionally reinventing herself and business so it could align with her purpose. Now, as a transformational coach and entrepreneur, she's working with leaders, creatives, and visionaries who feel stuck, unclear, or disconnected, helping them get real, break through the stories holding them back, and step confidently into the life and business they were meant for. If you're done with the hustle that drains you and ready to align your and and ready for alignment that energizes you, this conversation is for you. Please join me in welcoming Constance Curtis to Stuck in My Mind podcast. Hello.
Hello. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
The pleasure's all mine. So, Constance, let's just jump right into you. You built companies and gone through multiple pivots. Tell us about the moment you realized success alone wasn't enough.
Well, I think success can be defined many ways, right? So, what is success? Success for me was living purposefully, meaning what fulfills my soul, not just not just money or a great job or a lifestyle that looks good on Instagram. But for me, success is, am I truly happy? Do I feel fulfilled? Am I living a life of purpose? And from when I got really quiet with myself and asked those questions, it really came down to it's not about the titles, the money, the job. It's about, am I happy? What brings me joy? And if you can say, yes, I truly feel deeply fulfilled in all aspects of my life, then I think that is success. That's my definition of success.
So, what was the biggest internal shift you had to make when you moved from entrepreneur to transformational coach? What? I'm sorry. Let me
Yeah.
record. What was the biggest internal shift you had to make when you made the leap to entrepreneur and transformational coach?
Yeah. So throughout the years of building companies, I knew I loved to build, right? And I loved understanding, um, what drives people as far as services and products. And I loved building connection and all of those things. But what I didn't understand were my blind spots. I didn't understand my limiting beliefs. I didn't understand the blocks that were keeping me small. And I didn't understand that I was making certain decisions based out of a fear of maybe judgment, fear of, outshining someone. There's all of these different fears that love to disguise themselves. So I started doing a lot of personal development work myself. And then in 2022, I had to get really quiet and honest with myself and say, okay, am I actually applying everything that I'm learning to my business? Am I able to identify the thoughts that I'm buying into, the stories that I'm telling myself, and are these thoughts true? And a lot of times they're not. We buy into stories of what we think could happen or whatever it may be. And then our thoughts create our emotions, which create our behavior. So are we going down path A because it's truly aligned for us and what's best for the company? Or are we going down path A because it's the comfortable path and we think it's predictable? So once I started identifying the things that were holding me back in my business, I realized, wow, there's probably so many other entrepreneurs and leaders out there that don't realize that the thoughts that they're telling themselves are driving their behaviors as a leader. And those need to be examined and questioned. And once we get very curious about the thoughts that we're telling ourselves, from that place, you can really step into your highest, your next potential.
No, you're absolutely right. Because even when I was starting the podcast, I kept telling myself like, who would want to listen to me?
Mm-hmm.
I was just a lot of negative self talk
Mm-hmm.
until I finally decided to just press record and it was 7 minutes and I just released it. And then with each recording, I just improved. It went from 7 minutes to 10 minutes to 20 minutes, and then I started interviewing people, and then it just started progressing from there. But it took me finally just facing my fear and not worrying about what anybody else thought. It was just the fact that this is something I wanted to do. If I suck at it, then at least I attempted.
Mm,
And and 5 years later, here I am.
absolutely.
This
I
one.
love that. And what a lot of leaders miss, and I don't know if you miss this, but we have the awareness around it, right? The self doubt that keeps us held back, but we miss the acceptance part. We go from awareness to action of, oh, nope. Okay. I see that this is holding me back and I see that this is fear and I'm going to make a change or I'm going to start the podcast or I'm going to, do whatever it may be to step through the fear, which is great. But you're skipping the part of the acceptance part. You're skipping the part of understanding how that fear was actually trying to protect you. And that's all it is. That our blind spots, our limiting beliefs, our blocks, it is just our subconscious mind typically trying to keep us safe or secure or giving us something that we deeply desire. It just might not be giving it to us in the most productive way.
No, you're absolutely right. That and it's something also with starting the podcast. You mentioned purpose. I didn't know what was my purpose. I didn't know what direction I was supposed to go in. I didn't. Yeah, I have a decent paying job. Yeah, but I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't know I didn't have a clue. And when I started podcasting and I started having the conversations that I started having, and I started learning so much from these conversations, and I started developing in myself, just taking courses on how to improve my audio, how to what cameras I needed to invest for, the video, just wanting to improve because it was something that I love to do.
Mm-hmm.
And just the conversations and the energy I was getting from the conversations, and it was like, man, this is amazing. I'm learning something and I'm doing something that I love to do now. And it's just so much fun. It's like it felt at one point I felt so selfish because I was enjoying the conversation so much. But then one of my guests pointed like, but you're sharing the content. It's yes, they're like, yeah, you're enjoying it, you're learning. So there's nothing wrong with you wanting to learn and grow and then improve and so that's what this podcast has been for me. Has been me learning and developing from learning from experts like yourself.
I love that. Yeah. A lot of us feel when we start talking about our purpose, we feel it's what we're here to do. And it's actually, it's not. It's rediscovering yourself and understanding what fulfills you. And then from that place, taking what fulfills you, what lights you up inside, and then taking action from that place. So what I'm hearing from you is that speaking to people and learning that fulfills you, and so you taking that and sharing it, being having a gift like a podcast and sharing it with the world, is part of your purpose. But it really starts with, if you did not like to learn and talk to experts in different fields, this wouldn't be part of your purpose, right? It wouldn't like deeply fulfill you. You would probably already have had like burnout and just felt like, I don't know if I really want to do this. And that's how you can get quiet with yourself and ask, is this truly aligned with me? Is this truly aligned with my purpose? Are you enjoying what you're doing? And if you don't love what you're doing and you don't feel deeply fulfilled, then you're more than likely not living out your purpose.
It's opened up so many opportunities just from taking that leap and forcing myself to be uncomfortable because I wasn't I wasn't in media. Had never had done a podcast before. I didn't know what an RSS feed was. Didn't have a clue what a thumbnail, description, not a clue any of that. It was originally going to be me and a friend starting a podcast, and it was going to be a sports podcast. And I went purchased a $160 podcast studio from Amazon, and that's what I started with. And of course, me and the coworker never got together, and I was like, all right. A year later, the pandemic hit, and I just finally decided to just press record, like I said, and that's what started it. It was
I
the
love
fact that I was like, you know what, I'm tired of being afraid. And I just like, let me just record.
I love that. Yep. Stepping through the fear and taking that action is a huge part of it. And the fear doesn't always necessarily go away, right? And that's part of the acceptance of it is understanding, okay, thank you for trying to protect me, but the other side of this step that I'm going to take on the other and go through the door, it's sorry about that.
It's okay.
It's safe, right? And questioning the fear itself, and when you can do that, that's where the breakthroughs happen.
Yeah. So you work with people who feel stuck, disconnected, unclear about that next step. What are the most common signs you see?
Yeah, so I work with individuals on a few different levels, right? I feel I work with individuals who, one, a lot of them are high achievers, but they feel internally like something is still off. And so I work with them to discover like what that could possibly be, why they don't feel deeply fulfilled in all areas of their life. I also work with individuals who are thinking about a career change or what the next steps could be for them and getting clarity around, okay, how do my skill sets, I've been doing this, I've been a lawyer for, let's say, 20 years, right? And how can I take what I've learned and apply it to something else? Because maybe being a lawyer just doesn't light them up anymore. It's just not what they want to do anymore. So, but what I'm really great at, no matter what anyone is working on, is when someone has a goal or a vision in mind. I'm very great at the mindset, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Understanding what are the thoughts and really identifying, okay, what are we buying into? And then on a subconscious level, that's where 95% of our behaviors come from. So we can tell ourselves that we want to hit certain goals all day long. And we can say, I believe in myself and I can do this. But if our subconscious mind doesn't believe it, and that's where 95% of the behaviors come, we're unfortunately not going to hit those goals or manifest that dream house or the love of our life, right? So I'm really good at understanding, okay, this is what they want, but they haven't been able to get it. And that is a mindset shift on the conscious level, but also an unconscious level because we unconsciously self sabotage ourselves without realizing it. And a lot of people don't realize that 95% of their behaviors come from the subconscious mind, that they don't, you know, have control over the on a day to day. They really have to dig deeper and see where the deep fears lie.
So how did clarifying your own values change the direction of your business and life?
Yeah, so I love to get really quiet with myself and ask what are what are my core values, and I start by making a list of the things that I absolutely love. By the way, anyone listening to this right now, this is a great tool to do to find your core values, but make a list of everything that you love to do, everything that lights you up. That could be anything from travel to spending time with family and friends, interviewing people, you name it. And then what are things that you're really good at? And make a list of those things and then put them under pillars. So you take all of those things in what is one word or one word that would describe a group of them. So you want to find about 3 to 5 core values. I would say at least 3, but no more than 5 because then it gets too broad. But understanding, okay, if I took everything that I love to do and everything that I'm good at and put them under, 4 different categories, what would those be? And for me, they are freedom, connection, experiences, and safety. So when it comes to all of the decisions that I make in my personal and professional life, I use these core values as an internal compass. Does it fall under freedom? Does it fall under connection? Am I creating an experience for someone? Is this safe? And if it falls under one of those 4 core values for me, then I know that the decision that I'm making is an aligned decision and I can take a step forward.
In your early career, what limiting belief held you back, and how did you overcome it?
The biggest limiting belief that I had was the fear of success,
Mm.
which a lot of people don't realize that they have. But if you love freedom and you truly, truly value freedom, you could possibly look at more clients or more money as, oh, that's going to be more obligation, right? That's going to take more of your time. I'm going to have to maybe work harder. So then what you subconsciously do is block yourself from going to the next level because you're afraid that the next level is going to take away your freedom. So I had to do a lot of, work around I can create and build the company the way that I want to build it on my terms. And that it wouldn't take away, from time that I wanted, even from my personal life. So I've been very intentional of making sure that I know exactly what I want to build, how many clients I want to take on, how much revenue that means for my company, and being okay with that because I no longer will, you know, just drive, and come from a place of hustle mode and work 12 hours a day. Like that does not sound fun to me at all. No amount of money, would I take for working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. So understanding that I set the terms is, we know, for a level of success is something that I had to work through, and it's been a major game changer for me.
Many people think transformation is all mindset or all strategy. You blend both. How do you integrate real tactical business work with deep mindset change?
Yeah, so the mindset is the awareness and the acceptance part of it. And then the strategy is the aligned action step. So once you have awareness around the goal that you're trying to achieve, once you have awareness around the limiting beliefs and the self blocks, from that point, you can do the work to accept it and know that it is just a part of you. It's not all of you. And so you don't want to ever judge those parts of you. We're human. So we all have those things that keep us held back. And then from that place is the aligned action. So that's strategy. So looking through, okay, now that we can see that, door A and door B are both possibilities, what do we feel is the most in alignment with where we want to go, where the goal is and the vision is taking us? And then that's all part of the strategy.
Awesome. How do you help leaders and creators release what no longer serves them and then build a vision that's aligned?
Yeah. So what no longer serves you? For me, the best way to describe it would be frustration. So if I'm doing something and I'm frustrated by it, and it's typically not for me anymore. We all have different emotions, right? So yours might not be frustration, yours may be a different feeling that you get when you're creating or doing something that is not in alignment with you. So we do a deeper dive on what are those feelings and emotions that are coming up around certain projects or tasks that that no longer serve you. That even could be people, right? And it's not that they're bad people, but maybe they drain your energy, and every time you leave, you know they're their presence, you're frustrated or you have anxiety or you're like, oh, that was a lot. It doesn't mean that they're bad. They're just not, they don't serve you anymore to your next level of where you're going. So first getting really honest with that, and then understanding, okay, well, what is it that does light you up? There's some things we have to do that don't light us up, right? Maybe taking out the trash or doing the dishes, so we have to do those things. But when it comes to business, there's certain things that you can outsource, right? So if you're not great at accounting and every time you sit down to do your books, it's frustration and you find it ruining your day, those are things that can be outsourced, that should be outsourced so that your energy can be used to better serve you in the ways that light you up. And then once you've come from that energy and you're doing the things that you're really great at and your gifts are shining, for the world to see, then you can really create a life that is in alignment.
Yeah. um, what does authentic leadership look like in today's world, and how do you coach someone to lead from that place?
So to me, authentic leadership is being very real with your words and your actions. We have all gone through a lot of societal programming, a lot of, oh, you should do this, oh, you have to do this, and getting quiet with ourselves and asking, I don't know, do I have to? Like, do I really need to do that? Is that what we really need to do? And if it's not, speak up. Don't be afraid, to voice your opinion in a meeting. Don't be afraid to, if you have an idea, take a chance on your idea. Who are you really? Who are you at your core? Removing all of the masks of, because we have this fear of judgment, right? So we'll put on masks of oh, this is how I want someone to, perceive me. And removing those masks and just really showing up as yourself. Then from that onto authenticity, you will attract people that are meant for you.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Hold on a second. Okay, so what's your no fluff advice to someone who's trying to fix their business but ignoring the internal work?
If you're ignoring the internal work, it's more than likely chaos for you inside, which is what you're going to project onto your business. So if things aren't working out in your business and it feels a little chaotic, that's because that's coming from inside and it's just being projected out. So I would ask yourself the hard questions. Why? What's hard right now? What's happening? And then look internally and say, okay, why am I feeling this way? Is there something that I need to address and work on myself? Because when you're good inside internally and you're coming from a place of, wow, like I am like truly living my best life, that energy is going to pour out in all areas of your life and your business is going to take off and you're going to do very, very, very well.
If how, okay, where are you headed next with your work? What's the next level for you, for what you're building?
So I love one-on-one coaching with my clients. I may next year launch group coaching, which I have not done before, which have been thinking about it and I do start to get really excited about. But again, one of my core values is connection. So one-on-one meetings with my clients, it like deeply, deeply fulfills me. And so I'm making sure as I think through the next level for the company and where the coaching program is going to go. If I do launch the group, I want to make sure that the group has strong connection within. So that's something that I've been working on. I want to make sure I don't lose the connections with each of my clients.
Okay. So would it be, would you like have start the group off with existing clients, or would it be?
It would more than likely be new clients. So the one-on-one offer is more of an investment because it's one-on-one, right? It's very, very, very personalized. So group coaching is a great way for someone to, you know, dip their toe in the water. What is coaching? How can this help me reach my next level for less of an investment because we all meet at one time? So that could look like an existing client going, into a group because they also want to experience the group aspect, or it could be someone that is new to coaching and is maybe a little bit unsure of investing full on just them onto the one-on-one. So this is a great way for them to experience how to reach their next level. That is less of an investment.
But for someone who's listening or watching, who's unsure about their next step, what's the most important move they can make right now?
What's the most important what?
What's the most important move they can make right now? Like what is it? Someone who's unsure about the next step, or what kind of advice would you give them?
That's a great question. I would get very clear first on what we talked about earlier of what are the things that you absolutely love and what areas of your life are you currently doing those things? And if you're not doing them, where can you add more of it? So, for instance, connection, I'll go back to connection being one of my core values in something that I absolutely love. So, do I have connection in my business? Am I deeply connected to what I'm building? Am I connected to my clients? Personal life, am I connected to my family and friends? Am I feeling that? So once you understand what you love, what your core values are, you can look at all of the different aspects of your life and see what's missing. How can I add more of my values to this part of my life? And what does that mean for me as far as my growth and next level? Where would this take me?
So my next question is, what legacy do you hope to leave, not just in business, but in the lives of the people you serve?
I'm hoping to leave a legacy where I can help individuals with emotional mastery and getting to their next level of potential. It can be very frustrating, to go through life and think, why not me? Why do I feel like everyone else is doing well and I'm not? And I'm stuck and I'm frustrated. And anyone can get to any level if they have the right, mindset, if they do the inner work and they're willing to take the action. So my hope and my legacy would be to inspire anyone who is listening to believe in themselves and understand that you too can create anything you want in life. You just have to be willing to do the inner work and then take the outer action steps.
Definitely, yeah. So in an age of constant change and noise, how do you stay grounded and aligned amid all this growth?
A lot of meditation, a lot of breath work. So, yeah, meditation, breath work. I love spending time in nature. I like going on walks. I stay very grounded. I don't listen to the news. I don't listen to any distractions. Um, I'm aware of all of the noise that is out there, but I don't absorb it and I don't let it control me or have power over me. And I think that's really important in today's world is the awareness is great and it's needed, and that's part of knowledge of what of knowing what is going on. But if it is consuming you, if the noise is consuming you and taking up your energy, it is not productive and it's only going to hold you back.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm originally from New York City, and I now live in the Pocono Mountains, and I love it up here. Of just being able to go outside and walk and enjoy just even the deer running around in front of my front lawn, and
Oh, I love that.
so
Beautiful.
it's just being able to go out and not hear the noise.
Yep.
'Cause
That's beautiful.
in New York City, it can be very, very noisy and loud, and so I can just go on my deck and just enjoy nature.
I love that. That's beautiful.
So I get to I know I get to enjoy it, and I think being up here has actually been beneficial for me as far as being creative, 'cause I like you said, I get to close out that noise and focus on being me, and I there's one thing in the morning, like, I wake up, and one of the first things I do is take my start off my day with my meditation, say
Mhm.
what I have whatever I have to say to myself, and then that starts off my day with coffee, a little bit of exercise, and then off to work.
I love that. I absolutely love that.
Alright, so if a listener could adopt one mindset shift from this episode, what should it be?
One mindset shift from this episode, I would say ask yourself, once you tell yourself a thought or once you're buying into a story, ask yourself after you tell yourself that thought, do I know this is 100% true? And question your thought. And question before you go down a rabbit hole or you go down, something that's not going to be beneficial to your mind, question it. Do I know with 100% certainty that this is true? Or am I buying into a story? Because once you can get curious about your thoughts, it's a game changer. Master your thoughts, and you master your whole life. So definitely just start asking yourself repeatedly when you buy into these thoughts that you're telling yourself, is it true?
Mm. And now we'll come to the part of the show where you're gonna get the solo screen, the spotlight, and you get to plug away and let everybody know where exactly they can find you, websites, everything.
Yeah, honestly, thank you again so much for having me. Again, my name is Constance Curtis. The best way to follow me is on my Instagram account, which is Constance Curtis, and send me a direct message. I absolutely love to connect with people on there. But yeah, Instagram is the best way to find me.
All right. Thank you, Constance, for being such a great guest. Don't leave just yet because I want to chat with you a little bit off the air, but thank you so much for being such a great guest. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine. Thank you. All right, everybody. That was a great episode. If this conversation sparks something in you, take the next step, connect with Constance Curtis, go check her out on Instagram, her work, and start aligning your life and your business with your purpose. And if you know someone who's feeling stuck, unsure of the next move, or out of sync with their mission, share this episode with them because the next chapter is waiting. Stay real, stay aligned, stay wise. You know, your boy Wize does it. Peace out.